The late 1800s and early 1900s were a very bad time for Jewish people in Europe. There was a lot of prejudice against them. In Eastern Europe, terrible attacks called pogroms killed thousands. Jewish communities were scared. They faced discrimination and violence. Many Jews started to dream of a safe place, a place where they could live peacefully. During this time, an important movement began called Zionism. Zionism wanted to create a Jewish state. They wanted to help the Jewish people who were suffering. Their goal was to make a homeland where Jewish people could be safe. The Zionist movement grew quickly. It gave hope to people who were feeling lost and afraid. It changed Jewish history forever. From this difficult time, a very important leader emerged, Theodor Herzl. Theodor Herzl is known as the father of modern Zionism. Born in Budapest in 1860, Herzl was a journalist and playwright. He was very worried about the growing prejudice against Jewish people in Europe. The Dreyfus Affair, where a Jewish French army officer was wrongly accused of treason, really affected him. Herzl believed the only way to stop the prejudice was to create a Jewish state. He wrote a very important book called The Jewish State in 1896. Herzl said that Jewish people needed their own country. This country would be a safe place. It would allow Jewish people to live with dignity and freedom. Many Jewish people agreed with Herzl's ideas. He quickly became a very important person in the Zionist movement. He traveled all the time, getting people to support his vision. Herzl organized the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland in 1897. This was a very important event for the Zionist movement. Jewish leaders from all over the world came together. They talked about and planned the future of the Jewish people. In the early 1900s, things got even worse for Jews in Eastern Europe. The attacks continued to scare Jewish communities. Finding a safe place became even more important. It was during this time that the British government made a surprising offer. In 1903, the British government suggested creating a Jewish homeland in East Africa. They offered some land in what is now Kenya, which was part of British East Africa at the time. This offer, called the Uganda Scheme, happened for several complicated reasons. Britain wanted to expand its empire and also wanted to help the Jewish people in Europe. Jewish people had different opinions about the Uganda offer. Some thought it was a great opportunity to escape the terrible things happening in Europe. Others thought it was a bad idea that went against the goals of Zionism. The Uganda Scheme caused a lot of discussion in the Zionist movement. It made Zionists think about what they really wanted in a homeland and what they were willing to do to get it. The Uganda proposal caused a big split in the Zionist movement. The Sixth Zionist Congress, held in Basel in 1903, became a place of much disagreement. There were two main groups, those who liked the Uganda Scheme and those who didn't. The people who liked the Uganda Scheme, led by Herzl, thought it was a practical solution to a serious problem. They knew it was urgent to find a safe place for Jewish people who were being persecuted. They said the Uganda offer was a chance for Jewish people to govern themselves and build a new life without fear. They saw it as a temporary solution, a first step towards a future Jewish state in Palestine. The people who didn't like the Uganda Scheme, mostly from Eastern Europe, were very much against the idea. They thought accepting Uganda would betray the Zionist dream of returning to their historical homeland, Palestine. They saw Palestine as a very important part of Jewish identity and history. They refused to give up on their dream of a Jewish state in their
legacy of faithfulness, but it is also a story about David's heart. He recognized the sacrifices men had made. He knew he could never repay them, so he honored them in the most profound way he knew how, by offering the water to God. David's actions reveal his deep reverence for God and his profound gratitude for the loyalty of his men. Adesina's shared histories comparing Jewish and African diaspora reveals unexpected links between two enduring communities. From ancient dispersals to modern-day resilience, this book uncovers threads of history, culture, and shared struggle. Join the journey and uncover the deep connections that bind us all. Like, subscribe and share to spread the word. Available now on Amazon UK.